Today is Wednesday, August 14, 2024, and I'm Anthony Vawen anchoring. The big stories we're following: massive flooding renders thousands of residents homeless across Monrovia and immediate environs.
We are activated the shelter cluster and we are moving around to make sure that we can be able to cater to the needs. We are validating our data to make sure that humanitarian action and cash transfer will be going to them.
The Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment (LACE) embarks on nationwide assessment of legislative support projects. The Labor Ministry denies dismissal or suspension claims by some aggrieved staffers of the ministry.
Put those whose name will appear in the report as an obligation on our part to talk to them, to find out whether the information for civil service is correct. We will have to talk to other them.
In Sudan, away from Liberia, fresh peace talks begin to end 16-month war, despite one of the warring sides, the National Army, refusing to attend. The details of these and many other stories, sports, the news in French, are all lined up, but we begin with the bulletin of news read by Emmanuel Colley.
The National Disaster Management Agency, the NDMA, says it has activated all of its clusters to cater to victims of Tuesday's floodings across Monrovia and Pass adjacent. On Tuesday, heavy flooding swept across several communities in Monrovia, forcing thousands to be homeless. Speaking Wednesday, MDMA Executive Director Ansu Dole said the agency is working closely with the Ministry of Public Works to identify and build temporary structures for the flood victims.
We are activated all of the clusters. We are activated the shelter cluster and we are moving around to make sure that we can be able to cater to the needs. Meanwhile, most of these people also that are affected, we are the same group of people that are also affected during June 28. We are validating our data to make sure that humanitarian action and cash transfer will be going to them.
Mr. Dollar said beginning next week, the National Disaster Management Agency will begin direct cash transfer to victims of the June 28 floodings. He added that the MDMA staff and personnel of the World Food Program are in the field, enumerating households deemed affected by recent floodings across the country. Meanwhile, residents of Fiaman community in Singo are calling on the National Disaster Management Agency to intervene in the flooding situation in the community. Speaking to ELBC Wednesday, the spokesperson of the community, Alfred Dua, said the situation is currently affecting several people within the area. Mr. Dua said the flooding is due to the construction of houses in waterways and improper disposal of garbage by community dwellers. He, however, lauded the Catholic Relief Services in Liberia for identifying with residents of the community with cash and some assorted materials. He noted that the government intervention will help in providing a long-term solution to the problem. The Ministry of Labour has clarified that no employee of the institution has been dismissed or suspended, has been claimed by some staffers of the ministry. Recently, the Civil Service Agency recommended for several employees from various government functionaries, including Labour Ministry, to either dismiss or suspend. On Wednesday, several employees affected by the CSA action besieged the Ministry of Labour, paralyzing normal work activities at the ministry in reaction to the CSA's report. However, Labour Minister Councillor Kopokra says, contrary to the aggrieved employees' claim, he has not received the CSA report and no one has been dismissed by the ministry.
For example, those who heard whether their name were on the list, I think they should wait to see what action we would take. We are concerned about our workers. We're not going to just jump and just dismiss anybody.
Minister Kra said he remains committed to defend the interests of employees, terming them as the pillars of the ministry. Councillor Kra called on the affected employees in the CSA report to remain calm and maintain law and order as the ministry looks into the report before any action is taken. Government, through the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment (LAE), has begun a nationwide assessment of over 300 legislative support projects. It followed the deployment of a team of engineers to assess the projects as agreed on by lawmakers in their constituents recently. The projects in the 73 districts across the country were approved in the 2024 fiscal budget to be implemented by LACE. The Executive Director of LACE, Julius Selidi, expressed excitement over the government's move to implement community-driven initiatives which will positively impact the lives of the people. Mr. Sealy urged representatives and senators who are yet to submit proposed projects to do so in line with the budget year. Meanwhile, the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment LA has embarked on the assessment of 51 projects in Nimba. The head of the assessment team, Fidia Bemin, said it followed a series of meetings with the city councils in Tapeta District. Mr. Bemin named the Tapeta City Hall clinics and all the facilities as projects being assessed and said all the projects are expected to be implemented as part of LA's legislative initiatives. Mr. Bemin said the team will be assessing projects in Nimba with the cooperation of the citizens in that part of the country. More than 200 residents in Yigbetu Foya district in Lofa County have left their homes due to an earth vibration in the area. The Philippine residents told our correspondent they have been experiencing the ground shaking on them since July, but the situation has intensified. They want the government through the Environmental Protection Agency to hurriedly go in for intervention. Local authorities are yet to establish the cause of the vibration. Nima County Superintendent Kougono has disclosed an ongoing auditing process across the county following calls by the citizens. Superintendent Gono said the move is to promote accountability and transparency in the usage of the county's funds from 2018 to 2023. She said the process is ongoing smoothly with some formal features of the county being called by the GSC for cautioning.
The people of Nima, like many Liberians all over the country, want accountability. They wanted an audit. There were cries everywhere when this government came to power on audit, audit, audit. And so what we did, we wrote the GSC to commission this audit, and we are committed to the promises that we made.
The Nima County Superintendent added that following the audit by the GSC, a presentation will be made to enhance fiscal discipline. Meanwhile, Superintendent Gono has clarified that the intent of the audit is to promote accountability and not meant to target or witch hunt any informal official of the county. A man believed to be in his 30s, Mustafa Masuri, has allegedly attempted to commit suicide by consuming rat poison in Tobbenberg in Bomi County. A correspondent calls the man as saying he took the poison because he was frustrated due to family pressure. According to our correspondent, Mr. Monsari missed 2 bottles of a rat poison with an alcohol and drank it over the weekend in Tottenberg. The victim is currently undergoing treatment at the government hospital in Tottenberg, Bomi County. Residents of several towns and villages in Lofa County are calling on the government to improve their living conditions. The areas include Vahun, Fasavolu, Bolahun, and Ambuatata, among other areas. According to our correspondent, the areas lack good roads, network, including safe drinking water, inadequate health and education facilities. Vahun District Interpreter Ahmad Konen told our correspondent that due to the bad roads, residents in the area no longer trade in Liberian dollars but the Sierra currency leons. He disclosed that the only health center in Vahun currently lacks jobs due to the inaccessibility of the area. And plans for the construction of a bridge to link Liberia to neighboring La Cote d'Ivoire have begun. According to our correspondent, the construction of the bridge will be carried out by the Liberian government and ECOWAS. Recently, a team from the Public Works Ministry concluded a day-long engagement with residents of Duogudi in Maryland on some formalities on the construction of the bridge. A correspondent said the engagement of the residents of the town is to secure a land space for the company's work site and the residents' resettlement benefits, among others. When completed, the bridge will be the first direct link of Liberia to Cote d'Ivoire over the Kavala River from Maryland County.
Emmanuel Cully with the Newsline News Bulletin. Emmanuel will be back at the tail end of this presentation with details of our international developments. Well, as you heard in the news, Tuesday's flooding has forced thousands of residents in and around Monrovia into being homeless with urgent humanitarian needs. Already, the National Disaster Management Agency, the NDMA, has activated all its clusters to cater to victims of the floods. On the line Wednesday, NDMA Executive Director Sudole spoke of efforts being made to ensure the safety of the flood victims in an interview with Emmanuel Colley.
We have warned continuously that there will be more flooding this rainy season than ever before.